doesn't work. Not since I was a kid.
I'll scream. I'll scratch your face.
This face?
Daddy, I had a dream about him.
What happened in your dream?
He was taken.
By a man with black balloons?
Yes.
We never released those details.
Hello?
Don't hang up.
Who are you?
You know all our names?
You're getting out of here.
This is why your parents tell you to never talk to strangers or walk home alone or anything like that, because then this could happen. So this movie is based on a short story, I believe, by Joe Hill, which is Stephen King's son. And this is directed by Scott Derrickson, who I like quite a bit. You know, I really liked Sinister. I really liked his Doctor Strange movie. So I was very much looking forward to seeing what they were going to do with this. Because originally what happened is Derrickson was contracted to do Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but he said it was kind of due to creative differences. He then left that. So if he hadn't left Doctor Strange 2, they wouldn't have done this movie. And I'm just going to say, I think this is I really liked Sinister. I think this is better than Sinister. I really like the way it's set in the 70s, and it's actually set in Denver, which is, you know, scary to me. But it's set in the 70s, but it looks like one of those movies that, like The Conjuring, where it looks like it was shot in the 70s, where they use like old school, like camera trickery, like that kind of stuff. This movie does the same thing, and it does a really, really good job at it. So this movie is about a boy who is being picked on at school. Has a sister who can see things with her dreams. Father's a bit of an alcoholic. Mom is gone. Mom has died. The dad will beat them. And then one day when the boy's walking home from school, he encounters the grabber, played by Ethan Hawke, and who is really scary in this movie. And he says that he is a magician, even though you really don't see him perform any magic. But he gets kidnapped by this man who wears a mask for pretty much the entire movie. The entire movie he's wearing a mask, but almost every scene his mask is different. So like he with the masks he shows pretty much his emotions. So like there's one where he's smiling, and so you're thinking like, okay, he's a bit happy about this, but then there's parts of the movie where he has like a big frown part of the mask, so you're thinking like he's very upset or very angry, and a bit scary. So I like the way they did with the masks, but once he's kidnapped, he's put in this pretty much like bunker almost, which there's nothing but a mattress, which almost looks like an air mattress. But right next to it is a black phone that every time when he picks it up, he hears the voices of past kids that were kidnapped, who he knows all their names. Some of them he's even been affiliated with. Even though the phone is pretty much disconnected and isn't supposed to work, but yet is working with him, and he basically tries to get out of the bunker. So I was very much looking forward to this movie when I heard that this was what Scott Derrickson was working on. So yeah, I very much enjoy this movie. It was very much like it's not really a horror film. It's more like a psychological thriller film where it's like you're in this situation, you need to get out of it, but also there's this, crazy person, that could literally enter your room at any minute. So you have to be careful with that. So this was a very, very good movie. I really, really enjoyed it. I also loved the connection between the boy and the brother and his sister. I think that worked really well because they don't like going to their father, even though he's the only person in their family, at least that's close to them, because their mother has died. But after telling the, like, she sees visions and this kind of stuff, he's not he will beat them, and you do see it in this movie. So it's a big, like, oh wow, I was not expecting that to be in this movie. So it was very much a realistic movie, and I very much enjoyed it. With I would say with Sinister, it was more like paranormal with its execution. This is more realistic. Not saying that Sinister was realistic. It did feel very real, but this one was legitimately going like, yeah, this happens. This could happen to you. There's been tons of reports, not just back then, but also today, of kids almost getting kidnapped. Some even have been kidnapped. So it's a very scary, it shows you that the enemy could literally be in your backyard, in your house, or in this case, when you're walking home from school. So it's very scary. So I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I liked how it was realistic. I liked how it looked like it was a movie shot in the 70s. I also loved Ethan Hawke. He was super creepy in this movie, and there were some things that I was not expecting to see happen. Like there's a part in the movie where he comes down and he has like a tray of food for the brother, and then the brother's like, "What did you put in there?" And like expecting him to say like, "Oh, just to eat it" or something like that. He just goes, "Oh, salt and pepper." But he just comes off as really scary, and it doesn't help that you really don't see his entire face for the entire movie. You see it, you see it right when he gets kidnapped, but that's it. And then you either see like his mouth or just his nose up, or you just see his eyes. So it's a very scary portrayal. And Ethan Hawke does a great job as this character. I also loved the kid actors. The kid actors really nailed the movie. Usually when it comes to like kids and horror movies, they're either annoying or they just don't work for me. Or not just in a horror movie, but in any movie, period. But this movie managed to do a really good job at it. And it was kind of a lot of with the same thing with Sinister, is that with the kids in that movie, they felt like an actual like family. They didn't feel like I'm just going to annoy you constantly. So, which I like that. I always like that when they're not too annoying. But with this movie, they are pretty much the heart and soul of the movie. Ethan Hawke is just there, sewn into it. He's just thrown in there. But it's very much the struggle of the brother and sister basically being separated, and they're the only two people that they're the only ones that care for each other. And now that that's been taken away, they'll not just the brother will find any way to get out, but also the sister will find any way to help the police find not only find this man, but find his brother, which I very much liked. So yeah, overall, this movie it gets a rating great. I think this will be on my best of the list here. Thoroughly enjoyed this. It was very cool. It was very creepy. It was very thrilling. It felt a lot like 10 Cloverfield Lane, where that movie was pretty much a psychological thriller set in a bunker for the entire movie. This kind of pulls that same card, but does something different. So I thoroughly enjoy this movie, and it gets great. And I understand why my mother kept saying, yeah, just be careful out there, because this kind of stuff can happen to you.